The three-dimensional battlefields of Eve Valkyrie are littered with the icy remains of pilots who didn't use the tools at their disposal to their full potential. Whether you favour a fighter, support or heavy class ship, there are always a few tricks worth having up your sleeve. In this video, we're going to look at how to make the most of the Heavy's micro warp drive. All heavy class ships have the ability to offset their standard propulsion sluggishness with micro warp drives. These are additional thrust units which allow heavies to accelerate to the kind of speeds usually only achieved by ships using jump gates. They are not without their limitations, however, as they have a short spool-up time and only have enough juice to shift you a few kilometers from your start point. Beware obstacles too, as hitting a friend whilst warping will drop you out, and hitting an enemy will cause massive damage. The warp drive's first and most aggressive use is to get you into the fray as quickly as possible. At the start of a round, it's worth engaging right out of the blocks to close with the enemy and start laying down a savage bombardment to soften them up for your teammates, or use it to stake out a control point before anyone else. On the subject of control points, it's also well worth remembering that by using your micro warp drive to bounce between points during a match, you can keep the enemy off guard, securing unexpectedly fast turnovers.
Point A captured.
The warp drives can also be used to devastating effect with a little subterfuge. For heavies toting flak cannon, it's always good to close in on the enemy to maximise your damage potential, but that can be difficult when you're doing the chasing. However, start spooling up a warp and you may find that the enemy will try to close with you to ram your ship. Lure them in this fashion, but when they get close, stop spooling and unleash merry hell in their direction.
A decisive victory, pilot. Well done.
Finally, of course, the micro warp drive is very handy when things get a little too toasty in the hot seat. If you've not got any countermeasures ready to rock but a missile lock is chirping in your ear, then a well-timed warp can easily outrun the inbound menace. Worse still, should you find your shields have taken a battering and you know the enemy is still on your 6, then it's far better to take to your heels and warp in the direction of some outlying cover than meet your digital maker. To find out more about Eve Valkyrie and what's new to the game, just head over to evevalkyrie.com.